I read that 80% of men think that if there was an emergency, they could land the plane. Scott, where do
100%.
you stand on that? You're on a commercial flight headed across the country. They say, listen, there's no pilots on this plane and ours is dead. We need someone to step up. Could you do it?
Well,
I would try. I'd do my best.
Like, I mean, I could land it, but I don't know if we'd be alive after.
Yeah. We haven't left anyone up there yet. All planes land.
I'm landing that bitch in. Not only am I going to land it, I'm going to say some cool shit over the intercom as we land. I mean, like, I'm going to do the thing. I'm like, all right, we're coming on into Albuquerque now. A few minutes early because I don't know how to slow this bitch down. But hang on, everyone. No problem.
They're all confident because Kyle's a professional on the mic, even though he's a complete amateur on the
Hey, howdy. Just to let you know, there's a lot more buttons up here than you'd expect. I know one of these does something with the wheels. We're going to figure it out. In the meantime, enjoy Cars 2. As we careen into the side of a mountain. No, I would do my best, but like, I would need someone on the line with me to be like, this button hit, unless there's pictures. Or unless it says like this is your lowering the wheels thing, like there's just I feel like all it would take is like hitting a button, one thing wrong, and now suddenly some flap on the left wing goes down, and now we're out of control.
It's happened a bunch of times where they talked someone down who'd never flown before, didn't know how to fly. I don't know about like a 727 or some shit, some big airliner like that. I don't know if that's happened, but I mean, how complicated could it be? Right? I just don't think it's that hard. I really don't. I think any of us could do it, no problem.
I want to know what half those buttons are for, though, because how complicated is it? It's like flaps up, flaps down, left, right, and then accelerate, decelerate, and then the landing gear. Like, what else do they need?
Show us a 747 cockpit, Zach.
I bet a lot of it is stuff to be like sending data back to the air traffic controllers so that they know where you're at exactly, right?
I bet there's a lot of things for emergency situations, right? Like cutting off hydraulic fluid to this or that, or like making it operate on one fuel tank. I don't know. I'm making shit up, but I bet there's a lot of like, shut this off, disable this, enable that.
Yeah, that's so many buttons.
I mean,
that makes me anxious just looking at it, you know? It's like something about the field of view not being as like wide as you'd expect.
Do the people sitting in those chairs really know what every single button does?
Of course they do.
I fucking hope so. You better.
Dude, if I went up there and I asked the pilot, like, hey, so what's that do? Like, who knows?
Dude, in my truck, I would like, what does that one do? Oh, the one with the tires and the squiggles. I have to hit it to see what it does.
Yeah, but you're not a professional truck driver. I bet a professional truck driver knows everything his big rig does.
You just hit it and you're like, well, that one doesn't do anything.
This one makes that light toggle on and off. I still don't know what squiggle lines does. Traction control? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that complicated. I think there's a bunch. I really don't. I think it's like you said. There's a bunch of switches and flips and levers there to turn the fluid off to this or cut fuel to the left engine or whatever, etc. But I think landing that thing is going to involve orienting us toward the runway, which is some like altitude, lean left type shit. And there's going to be it's like the flaps and the wheels and like what else do we have to control this thing? It's just pointing it. I think it's super
flaps
easy.
In the
I'm
wheels.
not saying being an airline pilot's an easy job or necessarily, but I bet landing one of those things is super easy.
I feel like that's the only part of it that you can fuck up really bad.
Yeah, most plane crashes are either like right after takeoff or like during landing. Mm-hmm. So if you were gonna fuck up,
there's no room for error when you're 50 feet off the ground, I guess.
I mean, like obviously, like most plane crashes happen when the plane is near Earth.
Yeah.
Well, no. Like what they happen during the time
it can fall
period.
all day.
They don't usually drop out of the sky. Is what he's saying. If you're going from Atlanta to LA, you're probably going to crash in Atlanta or LA, not in Missouri.
True.
Yeah.
Flying's fucking scary though. I've only flown one time in the last 20 years.
Really? Holy cow!
It was this New Year's, and it's like I went to Maryland, which that's only like an hour or so where I'm from, and first time in 20 years I had flown. I don't even remember the last time I flew. I'm just sitting there like it feels like I'm getting ready to go out for a fight. And, and I'm looking for any excuse to not go. And like I'm scrolling through fucking Twitter, and my wife is like, "Oh hey, the flight got delayed." I'm like, "Oh fuck, okay, whatever. I guess I'll just hang out." Raw news alert: plane crash in Korea. I see the video. It's just like skidding across the ground. And at first I'm like, oh, okay, like plane crash doesn't mean you die. As soon as I think that, bang, hits a wall, explosion. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
That didn't even look like a bad one. But all those Koreans are dead.
Yeah. It was.
How did you...
And I was flying Spirit, too. So that was...
Oh.
Yeah.
That must have cost dozens of dollars. I saved up all day for this flight.
Do you like asking the pilot of the Spirit Airlines, like, so you've done this a lot, right? No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
I thought you knew what you were doing.
Here's the thing, bud. Most of these buttons, they're for the birds. A smart guy once told me it's about the flaps and it's about the lever. you just adjust your weight. How did you go 20 years never flying? That's crazy.
I just fucking never had anywhere to go,
Have you always been tentative or afraid to fly, or do you just have a bad first time flying experience?
I don't know what it is. Like because I've been in like tons of like weird situations and shit like that where you think I'd be like scared, but like, I'm pretty cool about it, but you can't punch gravity. So I think that's probably what it is like, if you put me in a cage with somebody, it's like, okay, I win or I lose, whatever. At least I have agency. If you're falling in a plane, it's just like, all right, this is happening. Hopefully
my cousin has the exact same problem. We couldn't fly anywhere because like he's a tough guy, like he's a likes to fight kind of guy, but he's terrified to fly in a plane. Or I'll ask you this: Are you afraid of anesthetic? Because he's really afraid of going under like general anesthetic, like being put to sleep for an operation.
A little bit, yeah. And it's kind of a new fear too. Like I didn't ever think about it until the last like 5 to 7 years, and now I'm like, fuck, I hope I never have to have an operation again.
Yeah, he has again. Tough guy. Like if someone was talking shit, he'd be the first to jump out of the truck and like be ready to fight. But he went to go get like orthoscopic knee surgery, and he was just in there in that gown looking at all the machines, and he noped out. He left the surgery was today. He's supposed to be in a gown, and the doctor's seeing him in 30 minutes in the operating room, and he noped out and fled the hospital.
He made a huge mistake.
His ass in the wind.
I'm terrified to get into an airplane. So I bought him airplane lessons. Like I figured if he spent a few hours flying a plane himself, like took control, like give him some agency. Like refused to go. I used his hour.
That's a really cool experience. If anyone ever has a few extra dollars, what would it cost? Like $600 maybe? I
don't think it was even that much. It was affordable. I remember thinking of it like a pair of shoes or something. Like it wasn't a big deal.
Mine was free. It was a fan, but it's called a discovery flight. And basically the first thing you do if you're interested in flying a plane is go fly a plane. You just do the most fun part of flying. And I don't know. It kind of freaked me out because like I took off. And then during landing, I've said this before, I was like, okay, like I noped out during the landing. I was like, you've got the controls. And he goes, no. I'm like, you can't say no. Like, you're my flight instructor. You can't just decline it. And he's like, well, here I am. And so I landed it. He told me what to do, but he wouldn't take the controls.
So we went to an airport in Anderson, South Carolina, and hopped in the plane. And then I flew it all the way to Livonia over my dad's farm. And I called him and I told him we were coming. And so they were all outside, and I was low enough that I could see them up there looking up at me. And I like flicked the wings back and forth at them, and I could see them way down there waving, and it was really cool. And then turned around and went back to Anderson, South Carolina, which is like normally a 35 40-minute drive, but in a plane, I don't know, we're going 130 miles an hour or something up there. It was quick. I was interested in like leasing a plane or doing like a 3-way ownership of one of those planes at the time. And it just seemed like when we needed to go somewhere, we're like, shit, we could just hop in the plane and just zip to like Texas in a few hours. That would be so sick. And it's only like $5,000 to get your to get your license. It was the books that stopped me. They like laid out all the books that I would need to learn. And again, this is why I say I think piloting is mostly navigation. Most of the book work that I was going to have to do was about navigation, seemingly.
Likely to be a lot of weather too.
That sucks.
Oh, sure.
Were they saying stuff like, you're not always going to have a GPS in your pocket?
Well,
like,
yeah.
Yes, I am, you fuck.
Well, I don't know about in the air, though. Like you could, I think they want a pilot to be prepared to manually navigate using charts and such. And that's something I had no experience with. So looking at that looked like calculus to me, which I also have no experience with.
I know we've all flown a lot, and like Scott talking about being nervous in the like charter flight, the commercial flight. Do you guys like if you're going through turbulence and someone near you starts to freak out a little bit? I always get a feeling of like this fucking idiot. Yeah. Like this is like calm down. This is your first time. Like it's a little bumpy.
I think mindset's important on a flight. So I've been on some rough ones, like some really rough flights, like that small plane between Burlington, Vermont, and we didn't even make it to our destination. It seemed like we might not make it at times. It was crazy. But when I get into a plane, I have this mindset of there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do can change this outcome. I'm either going to live or die. So I might as well just be loose and hang and like enjoy myself. So I don't know. I'm never afraid on those things, even when it's rough. So there's nothing I can do. There's no point.
Same. But I will think sometimes like these aren't the people I want to die near. Have you ever thought that?
No, I've never thought that because like
I've thought that.
Maybe
this fucking guy made a to-do about getting a Coke with no ice, like correcting the stewardess. Like what a douche.
I do that too. I always ask, the verbiage is important. You ask for a can of Coke. You don't ask for a Coke. You ask for a can of Coke, and you know what they bring you? A can of fucking Coke. And if you ask for a Coke, they bring you a little plastic junior cup, like we're in 3rd grade and we can't have too much juice or we'll piss ourselves. I want that whole goddamn can.
And the snacks on planes now. I can't imagine what it must be like to be like an old person now who experienced like flight as an adult in like the mid 60s.
I'm here.
Well, you're a low tier old.
Woody flew on the Spruce Goose, actually. You know?
Yeah, I think Woody was right there on the Spirit of St. Louis.
I remember the Wrights brothers. They were right down the road.
They were a couple of young whippersnappers. Yeah, but like you see those old pictures of like Scandinavian Airlines in like 1971 or something, and they're like carving up prosciutto or something and serving it to them. And now you're like, can I have a dirty cup of Coke and then and 4 pretzels? And they like are like, here you go, sir. Throw the bag at you, and then they go about their day.
Who do you fly?
It depends what the prices are like, but Delta or Southwest usually.
I only fly Delta, and I remember last time I flew Delta, I got the charcuterie board, and it was pretty good. I don't know. I've had pretty good experience with them. It's not a tasty meal by any standards, but it's okay. No,
it's not even a meal. I've had that too.
And they give you all the liquor you want, which I appreciate. I usually get good and drunk on a flight.